Let's talk about a war that you don't see tanks rolling down the street for. No sirens, no uniforms, just a quiet, creeping war on the First Amendment. The war on free speech. This isn't paranoia. This is a pattern. When the Attorney General floats prosecuting free speech, when comedians get suspended because they said something edgy about a political figure, when the FCC chairman threatens networks with punishment for the wrong words. Those aren't accidents. That's how freedom dies. Not with a bang, but with carefully worded press releases that make you wonder if your next joke, post, or protest chant is a criminal offense. The Bondi movement. After Charlie Kirk's assassination, Pam Bondi lit the fuse. She went on national TV and promised that the DOJ would absolutely target anyone engaging in hate speech. Did she say that before or after Trump went running to the cameras to blame the Democrats with no proof at all? Was she talking about him? I don't think so. Her comment sounded strong, right? Except there's a problem. In U.S. law, hate speech is not a crime. You can be vile. You can be offensive. But unless it crosses over into direct threats or incitement of violence, it's protected speech. Now, what the hypocrisy is just mind-bending. After Trump ran to the freaking camera to blame Democrats for Charlie Kirk's assassination without an ounce of proof, trying to incite a civil war. And then she comes out with all that? Are you freaking kidding me? Calm down. Calm down. I can get through this. God. Whew. I just want to flip my desk. I really do. I want to flip my desk right now. Right now. Jesus. Legal experts from across the spectrum immediately called her out. Why isn't anybody calling out Trump? How am I going to get through this? I can do this. Within days, Bondi backtracked, saying that she meant true threats. But here's the kicker. The words hate speech will be prosecuted, those words don't just vanish. They echo. Protesters start to hesitate. Dissenters wonder if a chant, a meme, or a handmade sign will make them a target. That's the shadow of authoritarianism. People censoring themselves out of fear. I'm not afraid of you. Media under the microscope. Right after that, we saw Jimmy Kimmel get suspended from ABC for his comments on Kirk. Was it crude? Sure, maybe. But comedy and commentary have always been where free speech gets stress tested. Instead, the FCC chairman threatened to punish networks that allow irresponsible speech about national tragedies. That's not regulation, that's intimidation. And not for nothing, it wasn't a national tragedy. There was a shooting in a school in Colorado that same day. I don't see anybody flipping their shit on that. You know what? Just the only reason why it was a national tragedy was because for some weird reason, they left that assassination up on the internet for everybody to see. They don't usually do that. But that one, we all saw it. And there was a reason for that. They used it. They freaking used it. Or maybe it was all planned. That's just mine. You don't have answers. When people deliberately keep the truth from you, your brain just tries to figure it out. It's just a bunch of Just think about it. The same media outlets that can broadcast hours of conspiracy theories, propaganda, and lies suddenly draw the line at one late night comedian who made a bad joke. No, this wasn't about the joke. It was about sending a message. Stay in line or risk your platform. When media figures self-censor because they fear government reprisal, the entire public loses because media is our mirror. Crack the mirror and we're all left in the dark. Maybe that's the point. Protests in the crosshairs. And it doesn't stop at comedians. Protests are next. All across the country, new bills and executive directives are blurring the line between free speech and criminal conduct. Here's an example. Peaceful protesters arrested under the banner of public safety because their chants were considered too inflammatory. Police using disorderly conduct as a catch-all charge to detain protest leaders. Surveillance tools, drones, facial recognition, stingrays, aimed at crowds who are guilty of nothing but holding signs. This isn't theoretical. It's actually happening. And the more vague the language hate speech, incitement, public safety, the more power the state has to decide who speaks and who doesn't. The slow boil strategy. Here's the thing, rights rarely vanish overnight. They erode in increments. A threat here, a suspension there, prosecutor who says one thing and then clarifies later, but the fear lingers. The line shifts, and before long, people have internalized the new rules. That's the real weapon, self-policing. Bondi's gaffe was a stress test. Kimmel's suspension was another. And every protester who hesitates before chanting, "No justice, no peace," adds one more crack to the foundation. Why it matters. Free speech isn't about protecting the speech that you like. It's about defending the speech that you hate, the stuff that makes you uncomfortable, the words that push the boundaries. Because once you've given the government the power to decide what's acceptable, that power will be used against you. Today, it's hate speech. Tomorrow, it's anti-government rhetoric. Next week, it's fake news. Well, that wouldn't be so bad, would it? Getting rid of fake news. They need to do something about Fox. And suddenly, criticizing your leaders is indistinguishable from sedition. That's not America. That's the playbook of regimes that we claim to oppose. The silent war on free speech is here. It doesn't need armies or bombs, just fear, ambiguity, and enough people shrugging that it doesn't affect me. But it does. Because the moment that we stop defending speech, even ugly speech, we open the door for the government and corporations to decide what the truth looks like. The First Amendment isn't perfect, but it's the line between democracy and dictatorship. And right now, my friends, that line is being blurred. So speak, shout, protest, joke, because the only way to fight a silent war is to make noise loud enough that they can't ignore it. Thanks for sticking around to the end. I appreciate that. I don't think they'll ever be able to shut me up. Hang in there, there's more to come.